to today's session on the Indigo lecture series. This is the unscripted version. Yesterday we tried to recap the things that we've done in an earlier day because of our newcomers that we had. They are here today, so there are no newcomers anymore. If you are not newcomers anymore, that means you can continue. You didn't get what I'm actually implying. So, so what that means is that we will continue with that lecture quickly to finish it up. You know there have been some glitches today, so we are left with just less than an hour. But we try to use that to finish that lecture. So we ended yesterday with the mean method of analyzing Likert scales. So we're going to continue from there. From the paper we had yesterday, you could see that there were more than 4 different ways that we could actually analyze the Likert scales. And then we've already made it that the mean method could be very misleading. So yesterday we did a mean method with median and then the quartiles. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do the cumulative percentage. Then we try and then see the difference between the two. And now we try to see why the mean method could be misleading. Right. So if you have your data like this, so let's go back to the data we're using yesterday. That was in total. Yeah. Good. So this was what we ended up yesterday, where we tried to use the if function to try and then categorize the data into the various categories that we're dealing with. So today we're going to do the cumulative percentage. Right, the cumulative percentage is such that in that one your interest is only in 4 and 5. When I mean your interest is in only 4 and 5, what it means is that in each of the inputs, that is for question 1, your interest is among the number of people who actually answered the question. How many of them actually picked agree and strongly agree? Don't forget the coding that we did yesterday. SA was 5, that is strongly agree, and then A was 4. So all the other response you are not interested in it. Your interest is in those that agreed and strongly agreed. So it is a cumulative number of the people who answered the question that actually chose agreed and strongly agreed. So what you do is that, for example, if you are interested in input number 1, and then we are interested in the cumulative percentage, that is what we need to do is to find out from this particular place how many of the people actually chose 5 and then 4. So if we are here, we can use the same SL manipulations that we were using, where we can actually filter. So we come here, we just filter, and then come to this side, and our interest is only in what? 4 and 5. So we just pick on 4 and 5. Click on OK. And if you look down here, you could see 4 and 5 is 66 out of the 100 and what? 125 respondents. You have 66 of them choosing 4 and 5. So in this case, if you're interested in the cumulative percentage for this particular input, it's going to be simply the total number that chose 4 and 5, which is what? 66 over the total number that answered that question, that is 125. So in this particular case, if you are interested in the percentage, you just put this, that will be this slash that, and then star 100 So you just enter this, and that is it. So this is 52. So if you go back to the classification that we are using, that is if you are supposed we want to go with the same cutoff that we found in Arubash, that means that 80 and above should be what? Excellent or high performance, and then 60 to 79 in this case, 79.9 which should be acceptable. That is what we are using as our good, and then anything below 60 will be what? Unacceptable. So in this particular case, you realize that the inputs that we just work with, as far as visibility of UHAS is concerned, the rating was what? 52.8. So it runs up to what? 53, which by virtue of that classification will be what? Need improvement. So that tells us that as far as those responses were concerned, the people didn't find information about UHAS that handy. Hello? Are you getting it?
Yes.
Right. So the people didn't find information on UHAS handy. So it means that if you are a quality manager, you should be finding out ways to what? To make the university more visible. Hello?
Hi.
Yeah. So we can do that for all the other inputs. We can do that for all the other inputs. Don't forget, once you filter, you see there's a funnel on top here. Once you filter, you should make sure that if you are moving on to do any other thing, you release the filter. Other than that, you'll be working with just one part of the data. So that is the cumulative percentage. Now, if you want to work with the whole data, and find the cumulative percentage for the individuals, now you realize that there are 4 questions in all. Okay, so we could easily do some manipulations again and then work with the cumulative percentage. So what we're going to do is that we are still working with this same data. We're going to copy this data onto just another side like this. Now, if you want to find a cumulative percentage for all of this domain, that's the 4 questions that are actually assessing the freshman's experience, then what you do is that you need to sum up for each individual the cumulative number of 4 and 5 that person made. So the cumulative number of 4 and 5 that each individual was made over the total response that a person gave. In this case, that is 4. So if you have 4 response and the person rated it 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, it means that as far as that person is concerned, it was 100%, is it? So if you want to find it for each individual, then the number of questions that he answered, you try to find out how many of them had a 4 and then what? A 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you know it's overall.
Then you know the overall, what do you call it, score as far as that particular input is concerned. So we can easily do that by using the same Excel manipulations that we've learned over the period. Yeah.
Is it, you know that, you know his level of input on the whole, like general questions or just that specific questions?
For that particular domain, if you want his domain on all the others, it means you have to include all the others in there.
Okay.
By including all the others, in actual fact, will not communicate anything, because all of them together does not actually give any meaning, because they are assessing different particular what do you call it, aspects of the university. There is a global item that is in there. When we say a global item, that is just one question that actually sums up the whole thing. And if you look at it, that is the last question input. If you could look at it before the this thing comes, the qualitative questions come. Can somebody read that one for us? The questionnaire, you have the overall, the global item.
Okay.
Overall, I am enjoying my experience as a student at UAS.
Yeah, so that is the overall questionnaire. I am enjoying my experience as a student in what? In UHAS. Don't forget that the question is what? Student experience survey. So that is the overall one item that sums up the whole thing. That is what we call a global item. So in questions, you may want to put a global item in there. So the global item in this particular questionnaire was that also overall, I'm enjoying my experience in what? In UHAS.
And you can access it.
Yeah, separately. So the global item is analyzed separately. Right. So in this particular case, we could do the same kind of manipulations with them and then use it to do the summations, because we cannot be looking at every individual and looking at how many of them took 4 and 5, 2 and 4 and 5, took 4 and 5. We could use the if function to help us here, but it will be a little complicated, so we will do something quite simpler. Now what we're going to do is that we're going to replace anywhere we see somebody that giving any answer either than a 4 and a 5. We're going to score that answer as what? 0. And then anyone that have given an answer 4 and a 5, we score that what? 1. Hello? Are you getting me? Rex, your face don't look well.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah. So this is what I mean. I want to know this particular respondent, respondent number 1. It's obvious that he chose 2, 4, and then 2 1s, isn't it? 3, 2 1s. So as far as the cumulative 4 and 5 is concerned, he had 2. For this domain, he has 2. Are you getting it? If I move on to this one, for this domain, he has 3. He or she has 3. He has this 5, 5, and then the last one, that is what? 4. So out of the 4 questions, he rated 5 of them within the ranges that I want. But I cannot be going around one after the other and be picking them up. So what I want to do is that, because it's a long data, I just want to get it done as quickly as possible. So I can know for each of them what was the number of 4s and 5s that they chose. Then I can get the cumulative 4 and then what? 5s. So what I'm going to do is that for each of the response that I found here, that is not 4 and 5, I'm just going to do a find and replace. You go to the binoculars here and then just go to replace. So all that we do is that anywhere we found, in this case, anywhere we found what? 1, we'll replace it with what? With 0. Okay? Anywhere we found 2, we'll replace it with what? 0. Good. So anywhere we find 2, we'll replace it with 0. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Then anywhere we found what? 3. We are not interested in 3s also. We'll replace it with what? 0. Good. But anywhere we found 4, it's part of the ones we want to count. So we replace it with what? 1. And then anywhere we found 5, we will replace it with what? With 1. So if we do this, the only casualties we are having here is the questions that has also been replaced, but that can easily be sorted out. You could just change one of them and then just scroll. So you could just do this like this and then scroll it along this way, and then you get your questions numbers back. Right. So now we have actually recoded the 4 and 5s, where 4 counts, 5 counts, but 3, 2, and 1 do not count. So for this particular individual, if we want to know the cumulative 4 and 5, all that we need to do is to sum his response. So Once we put an equal sign there, we know it becomes what? A calculator. So what we do is that we go and sum. So we can go here and then choose in the function section, choose the sum, and then which ones are we summing to be sure that that's the cells we have picked. We want this to this side, and then we just click on OK. So for this particular individual, the cumulative 4 and 5 is what? 2. Do we agree? Hello? We have the original data here to back up. He chose 4, 4. So its cumulative is what? 2. So all that we need to do is that for all the others, we just autofill with the formula. For all the others, we just autofill with the formula. So for all the others, we just autofill with the formula. So straight away, we get what? Everybody's cumulative score. So this is the cumulative 4 and then what? 5. Hello? So if you want to know for every individual his cumulative percentage, then it's going to be the cumulative 4 and 5 over the total number of questions that were answered. In this case, how many questions? 4. So that 4 then times 100. So this is the cumulative scores. Let me just use CS to represent that. Then we go to the cumulative percentage. Okay. Don't worry, Laboro pieces, they normally cause you a little bit trouble. Yeah. It's normal. Especially when it's not Lenovo. Yeah. So here we're going to do this one, this one slash what? 4 times 100. Good one. So the guy scored what? 50. And that is an obvious score. If you have 4 things and you score 2 of them, so we autofill. And once we autofill that, it means that that is the cumulative score for every individual. Cumulative percentage. Hello? Yeah, so this is the cumulative percentage for every individual. If you want to take the formula out, don't forget you can just copy and then what? Paste special. You just paste special, paste only the values, and then all the formula will go up because we issue 2 formulas and then we don't want them to cause us trouble. So this is the cumulative percentage for each of them. So now using our brush paper, we can now sort out how many of these people in this particular case for this domain had 80 and what? Above. How many of them had 60 and above but less than what? 80. And how many of them had 60 below 60? So we can use that to do the classification, just like we did the last time. So once we have these scores, we can do that. And you know there are 2 ways to go about this. The first is to do what? Filter. There are even more than 2, 3 ways. You can even choose to sort. And then they arrange themselves from smaller to bigger or bigger to smaller. You can do that. But if you don't want to mess up the data, you can easily just do a filtering. So we can go to filter. Okay. Then what do? We push in the cutoffs that we want. So we use the number filtering. And in this case, we want what? The one that is greater than or equal to 80. That will be our first category. So greater than or equal to 80. If you push that one, you see some people were scoring everything as agreed. So these guys are having an excellent freshman's experience. Okay. So for these guys, we can put an E here. You can put an E here for them quickly. Then the next guy, the next group of people we're going to filter, they should be greater than or equal to 60, but less than what? 80. Yeah. It should be less than 80. Good. So you have a lot of people in that category. So we're going to say good for them. So it puts a G there. And then pull down. That's okay. Then we'll move on to the next group of people. And then those are the guys that are going to be what? Less than 60. Those that are having an awful freshman's experience. So if you do that, you get, you put, let's say put poor for them. If we scroll this one,
the last one,
good. Are we okay?
No, sir.
What could be the problem?
When I cumulative percentage for what stage you are.
Who?
Cumulative percentage for what 50 added.
For everybody. What have you been doing wrong?
Equal to the total, the cumulative percentage over the total times 100.
What was your total?
4. And for the first question,
Uh-huh.
in that case, the total was 4. And the cumulative percentage was 2.
So you have 50.
Yes. And
Then what did you do? You drag.
Yes.
Are you sure you are not rather moving the cell instead of filling it?
No, sir. He said. She said the cumulative because she had 4. It shouldn't be 4. That's why she's having
So the cumulative is 2.
2.
Yes, but the total.
I
You
am.
write 2 there or you choose the cell? You write 2 in your formula or you
choose. If you write 2, did you type 2?
2, yes.
Yeah, if you type 2, that means that
That particular one.
it is only 4. Everywhere it is still type 2.
That's right.
So you shouldn't have type. You should have rather click on the cell. You click on the cell. Are you getting a slash the 4? You type the 4 divided by the 100. So the cell needs to be clicked. So as you move down, then the cell numbers are changing. And then the contents in the cells are changing. Yeah. So that was the only problem. Any other person? I think the video is ready now. Okay. Yeah, finished. Finished. The video has given us a hell today, so. Hello. Different category of what?
So the volume is nice.
Yeah, this one is nice.
I've improved upon that, everything that we need to do. Are we okay with this one? Are we okay with this one? If you're okay with this one, then we invite Res to come and do the same categorization, this time using the if function.
Yes. Oh, if.
He needs an applause for what coming. And if he's not able to make it, everybody go around and give him a knock. If he doesn't get it right, everybody go around and give him a knock. Alright. So do the same thing with the if function here.
So this machine and the if, there might be a problem. Am I on camera?
You're on camera.
Wow. You have to be serious.
So make sure the camera is
okay. Is it set?
Can you see? It's flowing, so continue.
Okay. So this is Rex. Camera noted.
Let your voice go.
Will I be explaining?
You tell us what you are doing. If you will not be explaining,
okay, please. As the best student, you
listen to the best student.
As the best if student in the class, I'm about to teach you the if function. Please pay attention as I do. You can also try it as I be back. So when you type the equal to sign, it becomes what? A calculator, as Sir will say. Then you start typing the if. So the if will appear, click on it, then the something is open. So now we want to come out with a logical test, and in the logical test we are coming to develop an argument for this function. So what you do is, as we did for the percentage score, we will say those with 80% and above are excellent. 60% to less than 80, they will be good, and then the rest we will term them as poor. Madam, are you catching me? Very good. So, this is the formula. Listen very carefully. If cell 2 is greater than or equal to 80, then it's a comma. Don't write then, Raji. Don't write THEN. Then what follows? We say the person is what? An E. That's for excellent. So in my old computer there, I struggle to find the inverted commas. I don't know what will happen here, but let's try this. Boom. I got it. And then it's an E. Okay? A big E. Then I close it. So now we are done with the first argument, so we can move on. But don't forget to bring your comma. Pa, like this. You understand? Now we are coming out with the second argument. The second argument also starts with the if. So make sure your if is open as there's something. So as it is open, we continue with the argument that if cell 2 is greater than or equal to, okay, that's the formula. If cell 2 is greater than 60, but what?
Less than 80.
Is that what the argument says?
Yeah, so it's just the first argument will cover for that. So if it is greater than 60. That's all.
If cell 2 is greater than 60, okay, then yeah. Thank you, Romeo.
Having problems?
No.
Thank you, Romeo. I'll give you something. Okay, then we say the person is what? A G. Then we close it. I think I have to read. Now no.
The final thing you only have to insert.
Okay,
So
I think
all
so.
these fields, common.
Okay, so if all these fails, you're giving the person a P. So close the bracket as many as you can. You should go and close as you can. So I will entreat all of you to press enter and see what will happen before I press mine. There we go. Pa! I should pause it then. Okay, so sir, I think that people are applauding. Did
you get the same results as the others?
The same. Now I want to do the magic, the extra magic. If I scroll down, it will give us the same thing.
But you didn't finish that. Why did you close your?
I'm entreating them to. It's not paused here. Okay. I'm entreating them to scroll the S down and see what will happen. If it doesn't happen like this, please, you are wrong. Correct yourself. So let's do the magic. So I'll scroll everything down to the last man standing, and there it is. Just as I said it. I'm picking up. Serious.
Alright, I think he deserves an applause. If you have messed up, you would have given it to him. Alright, so
you sure say you go fake me?
So
that's good. That's good. Okay, bring in my PC.